beautiful souls. It's been a while that I haven't shared anything with you. We have been having several courses of Choose Energy Healing throughout Bulgaria and also online in Bulgarian, and we have been having amazing results and feedback from everybody. And that was what was taking most of my time here on earth lately. But I want to share with you today something that I have in my mind for a while. It's been a lot of people contacting us regarding their children and how to put understanding in their own children, because I'm sure you also have some experience. Either it's your own child or a niece or a nephew or someone close to you that have come to your life for a reason. And perhaps 90% of the chances are that this child is not a usual child. Pretty much the majority of the children coming now to earth are not what we have been used to seeing so far. It's not what we were in our childhood. It's a totally new generation of beings. And this wave of souls started pretty much after the year of 2000. But especially the ones that are coming to earth right now, it is really intense of what is happening collectively here on earth. Many of these children are actually totally new souls. They either have never been to earth, or they're new human souls that have just separated from source and are coming to earth for the first time. There are still a lot of souls who have already been many times on earth, and usually these children are the first in the family, or they are just before a child which is a new soul. And the reason for that is because they are helping them in a way to get used to the earthly life, to get to know it better. We as parents or aunts and uncles or whatever we might appear to the child's life, have also a very important part in adjusting this soul to the earthly life. But the best way for a child's soul to get used to something is by taking an example from another child. And this is why it's something like a contract between these souls, that the first came earlier before the new soul, or a soul that has never been to earth, exactly with this purpose, to help them adjust better, to get used to the earth much faster and easier. So these new souls, or souls on a special mission, you can recognize in several ways. They are not all the same, and there's different pattern for many of them. Some of them have never been to earth, and you can very easily recognize that. They will start to walk faster or speak, they will start to walk later on or speak later on, because they don't have this experience. When you have already been to earth, learning an earthly language is a much faster thing, especially if you have already lived in the country where you have chosen to be born. You are already acquainted with the language. So even though we erase our memory from previous lifetimes as soon as we come to earth, we still have this memory in our subconsciousness. And this is what helps us to adjust to what we are already acquainted with from previous lifetimes much faster and easier. So it's always there in the background, always helping us, this previous experience. Our higher self is guiding us the whole time, and it's helping us through our intuition. You can watch the video of how our higher self actually communicates with us from our previous videos. It may help you to get a better understanding of how the higher self actually communicates with us. But anyways, when you have already been to Earth, you already have this experience, so it's much easier for such a soul to adjust itself to the Earth again. So these children that have never been here will very often have this difficulty of getting used to the language, or adjusting to anything which is so common here on Earth. Even the foods, they are coming with much lighter energy, and many of them will be choosing just naturally not to consume meat or other animal products, and this will be happening from very early age. So they will be preferring fruits and vegetables as their primary foods, and sometimes also milk products and eggs, which is actually a little bit more rare. And we all know of those who have been following the vegan wave about the negative effects of milk products and eggs and other animal foods. But anyways, these children need something for grounding, so they are choosing these foods mostly for grounding purposes and better adjustment to the earthly life. However, the energy of meat is much heavier, and it's a more complicated essence that it has. That's why they will be choosing many times not to consume meat or fish as well. Even though fish is a little bit lighter than meat, this may not be of their primary choice. There will be others that will come with already awakened Kundalini, and from birth they will be actually doing mantras, singing mantras, and of course the singing mantras is going to come later, but doing mudras and kriyas many times from birth. If you actually observe these children, we have actually some parents of a child that recently contacted us exactly with this, and this child is speaking the light language. He is very young still, and he speaks the earthly language very well also, but he is a brand new soul, and he just comes from a very high vibrational place of the universe, and because of this he came with awakened Kundalini, and he speaks the light language, which not many around him actually understand. Of course, it's very understandable that not many of us speak this language yet, even though we are becoming more and more in number. And doing mudras and kriyas is a natural a push of the body, of the soul, because the soul knows what is best and easier to help the Kundalini energy move so that it doesn't create energy blockages. You can find out more about the Kundalini energy online, I'm sure about it. There's a lot, and we also have a video of how our Kundalini awakening changed us, me and Andre together as one. So as you can see, there will be differences in the souls, but it doesn't mean that they are not new souls at the same time. So some of these souls, like I said, coming, for example, with Kundalini energy awakened, they may need better grounding, so they may choose to eat even meat because they need some much heavier and denser energy to ground themselves. To help them though overcome this, because eating meat is really not the best option for all these new souls, even though they choose that sometimes. To help them overcome this is actually find other ways for grounding for them. You can also watch our previous video on the new ways to ground to the new earth, because this has also changed with the new waves of energy coming. Energies are so intense right now, they're changing every hour, not every day, every hour. Sometimes within minutes you have different energies coming to earth, and from super calm they can become super intense. That's why these children get affected very easily by the different flows of energies, and they are searching for ways themselves that of course they are only acquainted with. And as new souls, they're not acquainted much with the things on earth, and this is where our role comes, to help them find out other ways for grounding. There's so many flexible ways now to ground ourselves, and if you watch this video, you can experiment. That's what I would recommend. It's gonna be very different for each different soul how to ground themselves. That's why the best thing to do is just to try different things and see what is best for us. We can help them by doing some yoga with them, or Tai Chi, or other spiritual practices which are going to help the energies move better and faster through the body, so that energy blockages are not created. They really love it right now, all these children, and they will appreciate and they will fully love you for helping them with this. I'm experiencing this myself with my two beautiful nieces, and with them is a very clear example. For example, the older my older niece, she has been here multiple times on earth, but she has achieved quite a good level of spiritual growth herself in previous lives. And my second niece is here for the first time, so she is really taking as an example my older niece, and she is literally copying her. So many of these new souls will actually seem that they have been here on earth for many times, because of the way they start to speak, because of the way they start to behave. But what they're actually doing is they're literally copying someone that they have chosen to follow as an example here on earth, so that they can adjust, they can fit better in the whole picture. So the words they're using, the phrases, the gestures, the ways they behave are not theirs. They are literally like a copy paste. They are very good at that, because the frequency they're coming from is very adaptable, very flexible. So for them it's easy to grab something ready, is much easier to grab something ready and to implement it, so that they can look like they are part of this picture. They can perfectly fit in it. However, if you observe them better on a deeper level, you will find out yourselves that they almost have not their own even imagination of things and how to experience things. Even emotions are not their best strength. They will experience them in a very weird way. And again, the reason for that is that emotions are truly something that we experience here on earth. This is one of the reasons that Source separated himself into millions of particles in the form of the souls that he spread all over the universe. And by the experiences of all these particles, which are our souls, he is experiencing the different things himself. So emotions are something which is extremely available here on earth. We're not talking about feelings, but emotions, because emotions are, let's say, exaggerated feelings to the extreme. Something that other souls throughout the universe, they do not experience. They can only feel it here on earth. And what is happening right now is all parts of the universe are trying to help earth raise its vibration, but at the same time, this is a chance for them as well to get to know better, to understand better the earthly life, what it is to be on earth. And through the souls they are sending from their own part, let's say, through the souls that they are sending here on earth, they also get a better understanding of what it is to be on earth, to experience it, to feel these emotions that we are feeling here, to eat the food we are eating, and to experience the different sounds, nature, and everything which is available on earth. That is why these souls are very curious. They will love to experience every single thing, and many times, surprisingly, they will not be affected by it. The reason for that is because they're coming from a very high frequency, let's say a highly vibrational place, a part of the universe, and because of this, the lower vibrations are not going to affect them very much. With other souls, though, it will be exactly the opposite. And again, it all depends where they're coming from. Are they new souls, human souls that have been just separated from source, or are they coming from other parts of the universe which are more high vibrational? So we really have to observe them and try to experiment different things, so that we can help them better adjust to the earthly life. Many of these children, for example, that are coming with the different diseases or conditions that they develop, it is exactly because of this. They are not getting the best way to adapt to the earthly life. And like I said, this is where our role is coming, to really help them find this way, take them into nature, out, let them experience the different parts of nature, the waters, the forests, the walking barefoot, and anything you can think of to see what they really love, what is going to affect them the best. For some, it will be different types of foods that they will feel really amazing, and it will be almost enough just to get used to what we are having around here. But for others, they will need more grounding, a deeper understanding of the meaning of grounding. So we will really have to put some effort here, not just with the way they eat, but what they do, like the things they practice, like I said, yoga, tai chi, or whatever. To go out in nature, to experience it very often. This can really be a game changer for them being here. Recently, we had a soul that we connected with, and he is coming from a super high vibrational place of the universe, and he's not getting affected, for example, by anything here on earth, neither by eating meat or any other foods, neither by using perfumes and chemicals around him. He just doesn't get affected. The energy, the life energy flows through him so fast. He is full, constantly full of chi, of prana. He came with the natural ability to heal, not having to be initiated like what we are actually doing with the Chiyo's energy healing. And because in the Chiyo's, that's why we love it so much with Andre. It is using the natural prana around us, the chi energy which flows within us, but we become channels of huge amounts of it, and through it we actually are able to perform healing in other souls around us, because we exclusively exist through exactly this, the prana, the chi energy. And our biggest source of the chi energy is the sun. That's why we will be using it a lot for grounding in the new energies. It's going to be our main way to ground ourselves. But anyways, you can see more details in the video which I mentioned earlier. So yeah, really to understand these souls, we actually call them many times like indigo crystal children and whatever. The truth is that the wave of the indigo and the crystals almost kind of like stopped, and the souls that are coming now toward, they have totally different auras. I see in many of them golden, diamond, a different type of structures, which comes like with like the sun energy. Some of them, the highest vibrational ones, they don't even have color of their aura, and they can just change the color of their aura as per their wish, as per their desire. That's why it is super different right now. There's no classification. They are coming from all over the universe, and the most important thing is the mission of all of them and all of us is actually to help Earth finally raise its vibration and fully enter the 5D. It has been going quite slowly, but at the same time very intensively, this process. But to be honest, we are a little bit far from getting there yet. I believe what is going to happen is by working collectively, more and more of us, that actually this process is gonna happen all of a sudden. And all these new souls that we see behaving so earthly, all of a sudden they will change and show their true essence and true beingness, and then we will really realize what is happening truly on Earth. Pretty much the flow of energy that we are seeing right now is almost like struggling to penetrate the surface. We have created something like a surface, like a cover of everything that is happening underneath, and we are being affected of what is happening underneath. But this underneath one day is going to come up to like an explosion, like a volcano that is going to erupt, and we are going to experience this very, very fast, and the changes that we will experience will be very sudden and abrupt. So it's better to get prepared for it now. It depends on us if this is going to happen all of a sudden or will be a more gentle process. So the more we work on ourselves, individually and as quantity of beings, the more in number we become, the more gradual and easier this process will happen. Well, I hope with this video I helped you a little bit to put more understanding of these new souls that have been here already on Earth for a while, but they're becoming more and more in number. And for you as a human with more experience here on Earth to become better channelers for these new souls, to help them adjust better to the Earth and have brighter and better experiences while being on Earth. If you have experiences yourself, or you wanted to share with us something regarding this topic, you're more than welcome to leave a comment underneath, or if you have questions, we will try to answer them in the next video perhaps. Lots of love from us, and we will see you again soon.